Electronic music festivals have some of the strangest and most profound interactions between people you'll ever find. And I mean, I should know. I've been a festival photographer for years. I know I look like a frickin' farmer right now, but I can hang, and I've seen some frickin' shit. This took place at a Motion Notion Festival in Golden, BC, a beautiful festival in the Rocky Mountains. We just finished setting up our camp, and we were heading out, and we get 10 steps, and this guy yells,
"Why the fuck would you get an Al Jazeera tattoo?"
And I turn and look. It's this Arab guy glaring at me. We just keep walking. The girls are like, "Is that guy yelling at you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess we're camped by a fucking psycho. What the fuck?" To be honest, it set me off on a bit of a trip.
The Iraq War was a hard no for me, and I felt so much angst and helplessness not being able to actually do anything about it. Sort of wallowing in that feeling when I was introduced to Al Jazeera and the work they did in the region. I came to see the camera as a potential tool to end war, and I saw these journalists as absolute heroes going into the line of fire to bear witness to the tragedy of the war. And I ended up getting this tattoo to commemorate the journalists who died in Iraq.
But I'm like getting in my head over it, and I went into a dark place. What kind of extremist, fundamentalist, evil motherfucker hates Al Jazeera as like an Arab man? Who is he camping with? When I start feeling fearful like that, my reaction is to want to like puff up and get violent and attack and dominate and neutralize the threat and put him in his place and make everything safe again. But luckily, I'm a man now. I'm not a boy, and I could recognize those thoughts and I could set them aside, and all that was left was this deep curiosity. What the hell was going on with this guy? So we get back to camp and I see the guy sitting down for supper, and there's an empty chair across from him.
"There's someone I'm ready to meet."
So he sat down, he looked up at me with the stink eye. I just held his gaze, and he asked me, "So why'd you get that tattoo?" So I told him what I said earlier, and he got it. He understood. He's like,
Al Jazeera was good in Iraq, but when 10,000 of my countrymen were murdered by President Assad in Syria, they stood by and let it happen. They didn't report anything with the gas attacks. They let all these people die.
hit me like a wrecking ball. Just felt the pain that he was carrying, and I started frickin' bawling.
To say that I emoted would be an understatement.
Started crying so hard in my chair, I'm shaking. And this change comes over his face. He's concerned for me now. He stands up, he comes over, we frickin' hug. He's frickin' consoling me, who's crying like a baby. He's like,
"Oh, I'm sorry, I can tell you're a good man. I shouldn't have said all that stuff."
I'm like, that's all good, man. Oh. And I'm just thinking, like, how much MDMA would it take to just dust Aleppo? How often, when someone's being aggressive and angry, are they just craving for someone to witness them in their pain? That's it. Peace, guys.